We have a special guest with us today who I would like to speak about and speak with at the beginning of the call. Then I'll go through the numbers for the day. We have a team on the ground in St. Petersburg, Florida today, and we're joined by Mayor Rick Kriseman. The team has been working with St. Petersburg over the past few days. We'll be setting up a testing site today, working with St. Petersburg, and we're sending down some necessary materials. We're sending down 7,500 test kits, 7,500 gowns, 11,000 pairs of gloves, 7,500 N95 masks, 124,000 surgical masks, 7,500 face shields, 1,250 gallons of our New York clean special hand sanitizer. You try that hand sanitizer, Mayor, your hands will never be the same. I can promise you that. But it will kill the COVID virus, and it'll give you a special tingling sensation. Mayor, it's our pleasure to be of help. You know, as you know, New York went through this first, and I asked at one point, on one dark day when I was doing the briefing, I asked Americans to volunteer to come help us. We were overwhelmed in the hospitals, and I asked for doctors and nurses who could come help New York, and 30,000 people volunteered, 30,000 doctors and nurses. And I'll tell you, it was one of the really powerful experiences of my life, actually. 30,000 doctors and nurses volunteer to come to New York to go into an emergency room at this height of this frightening COVID. I was so shocked at the generosity, the courage, the love that people showed. I said at that time, I can't express the gratitude. I said, and we will be there for you. It was really America at its best. You know, it was that neighborliness, that barn-raising spirit. I help you, you help me. I'm your neighbor, you're my neighbor. I had seen it after 9/11, where people from all across the country came to New York to be supportive. But I tell you, I was really personally touched, and I said on behalf of all New Yorkers, whatever anyone needs, we will be there. And I spoke for all New Yorkers when I said that, and they have reinforced that, and I want to honor it. And we've been doing that. We know what you're going through. We've been watching the numbers. We've been watching the news. We're sorry that you have to go through it. You're in our thoughts and our prayers. I want to personally applaud you, Mayor. You were right early on. You were right on the stay-at-home order. You were right on the intelligence of wearing masks. Literally, if we had followed your advice in those calls, this nation would be in a different place. I was saying basically the same thing in New York that you've been saying in St. Petersburg. The stay-at-home order works. The masks work. We should have taken this seriously sooner. I also agree with you on the young people. That's where we're seeing the increase in the numbers. We're struggling with it here in New York with bars and restaurants. But I applaud your leadership. I know it's hard to speak, especially when you're the first one uttering thoughts, and these are not popular thoughts. You know, nobody wants to stay home. Nobody wants to have to wear a mask. But it's a test of leadership. And it's also a period in history where you really see what people are made of, you know. When the pressure is on, that's when the character comes to light. And we've seen a lot of character. And we've seen people who were under pressure and they didn't stand up, frankly. But you did stand up, and you were right. And you've been doing a great job in St. Petersburg. before this. I was the former HUD secretary, so I had a lot of experience working with mayors all across the country, and I know a good mayor when I see one, and you are a good mayor. So it's our pleasure to be helpful. The testing site, I spoke with them this morning. They said that's going well today. I'm sure you need the supplies. Anything else you need, we're here. But in the meantime, just keep going. We're together. We're Americans. We're your neighbors to the north. We obviously have a lot of New Yorkers who go down to Florida. And in the old, I grew up in Queens. Everyone moved to Florida when they finished in New York. So there's a lot of commonality, and we're with you in spirit, and we're with you as a neighbor. Anything you need, we're here. You stand strong. But thank you for joining us this morning, Mayor.
Well, thank you, Governor. And first off, thank you for those very kind comments. I do remember when you made some of the comments about wanting to provide assistance, and I've been in elected office now for almost 20 years, and I know politicians oftentimes will say a lot of things and make a lot of promises, but you, sir, you followed through, and you did exactly what you said you were going to do, and that's not something that a lot of politicians unfortunately do. And I agree with you. It is a test of leadership, and again, Governor, you and your team, the leadership that you have provided, the assistance that you've given us, and the donations, but equally important, how you've communicated. We're not getting good, clear, concise, factually based communications from Washington. A lot of state capitals is not coming from, but we've gotten it from you. Your residents have, really the entire country, I think, has really benefited from how clear and concise and just accurate you've been in everything that you've said, and commanding. And I certainly appreciate it. It helps me as a mayor do my job when the message that's being put out is clear. In St. Petersburg and the county that we're in Pinellas, we've tried to be leaders. We were the first to take, one of the first to take actions related to a Safer at Home initiative, mask mandates, and I think it's really helped get our numbers on track to really start reducing the positivity rate. Our county in Pinellas is one of the most densely populated in the state of Florida, and yet we're the largest county over the past 7 days, the past week, that has a positivity rate that is now under 7%. And it's because mask orders work, and you, sir, you showed us that. You showed it in New York, and we're following it here, and we wish all of Florida, quite frankly, would have a mask mandate. I think our state would be doing better. But I got to thank you again for the support. I agree, widespread testing is key. Our hospitals have been overstressed, and so the PPE that you're sending us, the supplies you're sending us, is really critical. And I'd like to give the press a real clear example of the impact that you and the state of New York are having on us here in St. Pete. We are the home of Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital, which is the only Hopkins facility outside Baltimore, and it's here in St. Pete. And they're taking care of kids that are suffering with COVID-19. And they emailed us and said if they could have more iPads, that could help them meet the increased request for virtual appointments and therapies, and you all delivered. And you've made that request a possibility and a reality, and it's going to impact the kids in our community and the families of these kids. And so, again, I can't thank you enough. And then the testing site. It is in a neighborhood where we have a disproportionately impacted zip codes, a couple zip codes where we are seeing our highest levels of positive testing, and they're the neighborhoods of our largest minority population. And so for us to be able to do testing there and be able to get the data related to that test really will help us in trying to address and target what steps we need to take to try and reduce the positivity in those zip codes too. So again, on behalf of the entire community and the 270,000 residents of this great city, I have to say thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Very kind of you. I appreciate it. I truly do. And I agree with everything you said. On the testing in those hotspot zip codes, that's very important, and Somos Community Care is worked with us up here, and we brought them down there, and they're the ones setting up the testing site. You're also right that at the end of the day, leadership mattered here. Government has been sleepy for a lot of years in many ways. You didn't really need government to step up on a critical mission. This is a critical mission. And you said you've been in public service 20 years. The experience shows, character shows, and yours did, my friend. Anything you need, we are here. Thank you for your kind words. It's unfortunate that we're in this situation. I thought that New York went first because we had the virus that came from Europe. Nobody realized it. Everybody was talking about China. The virus left China before any of these geniuses knew it. Went to Europe, and then it came to New York from Europe, literally on the plane. That's where the flights landed. So we got hit very hard. We were ambushed. But we would have liked to think that we would have learned the lessons as New York was going through it, and that we knew what the future was, and we handled it differently. We didn't do that. But you stood up, you led, and I'm proud to call you friend. Anything you need, we are here. We are here.
Thank you.
So thank you, Mayor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much, Governor.